Hello, everybody, and welcome back. How is your investment journey going? Are you building wealth or are you just doing? Anyway, so for so recently I dived into investing, right? And I have been sharing my experiences with you because I've learned quite a lot of things that I did not know. And the funny thing about investing is that until you dive into it, everything is just theoretical. Everything is like paper. But when you actually put cash into the game, then you'll find out that theory is different from practical. So, what have I learned in my first 3 months in investing? I started my investment journey 3 months ago, like this is the third month, and I have experienced a lot of ups and downs, like I've been sharing with you. So, we've talked about the federal government saving bonds in previous video. You'll find the link in the description. We've talked about investing in mutual funds in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. You'll find the link to that video also in the description. So, my third portion of my investment, like I stated earlier, when I started this investment journey, I took a leaf from the Ramsey's playbook and I divided my investment portfolio into four. So the first part, which is the bulk of it, which is like my retirement fund, I put that into the FGN savings bond, and I've told you how the thing has been doing and how we're still observing it. The second part, which was slightly less than what I put, okay, which was about half of what I put into the FGN savings bond. That second part was what I put into the mutual funds, and I told you all how the mutual fund exploded and how I made 30% in within 2 months, like into the third month. The month is not yet over, and it's still is doing somehow. You can find the link to that video. So the third part, which is again smaller than the second part, is what I decided to invest in US denominated stocks, because people always say that you should invest in the US stock market so that, when you're investing in dollars, then it will be a hedge against inflation in naira. Okay, so I invested some in dollars. And what I did was, when I got into the app, there were options. There were several options. There was the fixed income option, and then there was the managed mutual fund, and then there was the option where you just, do your own stuff. You just buy your stock and the rest. What app am I using? I told you guys now. I will let you people know at the end of this month. This is the third month. It's an experiment. Once I run through the experiment and I can say, okay, this thing actually works, so then I'll let you guys know the apps that I'm using. But just bear with me first. Okay, so this is my experience in the US stock market. Don't go anywhere. If you've not liked this video, what are you waiting for? Oh, yeah, like now and subscribe so that when the gist is coming out hot, you'll be getting it like as it is coming out. Okay, so let's dive in right now. Okay, so how did I invest into the US stock market? I picked two parts. One was a managed fund, and the other one was just the options of picking your own stock, like being your own manager. So the first one, so I divided the money into two because now to hedge against any eventualities. So the first portion, which was 100 US dollars, I used it to buy stocks. Now, I don't know much about US stocks. I know there's Apple, I know there's Nvidia, and so on and so forth. Yes, tech stocks basically, because I know that's where the money is. So what I did was I looked for an index fund which mirrors the Nasdaq, which mirrors the Nasdaq has to do with all the tech stocks in the US. So the fund that I bought into mirrors the Nasdaq, and then the second 100 US dollars. Now this is small money. The second US $100, I invested it into a managed fund. Now the one where you pick your stocks, that one you just pick your stocks at your leisure. You pay the very very tiny fee. Like the fee is so tiny you won't even notice it. Like 0.001 cents or something like that. And then you buy your stock so you can see your portfolio. So I did that. And with the other $100, I put it into a managed mutual fund. That one, the buy-in minimum is 100 US dollars. And they collect 50 cents from that money upfront. That is their fee. So what was showing on my portfolio was $99.50. Okay, right. So after 1 month, now I was looking at this thing religiously, but I just did not want to, panic or anything. But after 1 month, this is what I observed. The stocks that I picked with my own hand, the tech stocks, the tech index fund that I picked to with my own hand because I saw how the arrow was going up, up, up. It lost about 10% in the first month. In the first month, instead of having 100 US dollars, I was seeing 90 US dollars in my portfolio. Problem. A whole 10 US, 10 US, which is like 15K, just gone like that. And by the second month, I had lost an additional 3%. I didn't even wait for the second month to end. And I saw that I had lost another 3%. So the money had gone down to like $87 from $100. Now I cash out. I just liquidated the thing and used that money to do my kitchen cabinet because I'm in the process of moving into a new house. So I just use the money to do my kitchen cabinet. Now they see my money, they hang for kitchen. Or what do you think? And then the second part was the managed funds. The managed funds initially, like the first 2 weeks, it actually dropped by 3%. So out of my 99.5 dollars, I was seeing like 97, 96.5 within that range in the first 2 weeks. I was already having a little bit of palpitation. Should I leave it? Should I pull it out? I said, okay, let me just run it for 1 month. Let's see where it goes. And by the end of the first month, I am happy to say that it not only climbed back to 100, but I ended with $108. So at the end of the first month, I actually made a profit of $8. And by the second month, I put the money, I allowed it to continue. And by the second month, I had made an additional $5 ish, thereabout. I'm very bad in math. So at the end of the second month, I had $115 in my account, which was, it felt good because, these people are collecting their 0.50 cents per month. But still, I'm seeing the increment. I'm seeing the work that they are doing now. So I'm actually making money in the managed funds and I was losing money in the stocks that I picked by myself. So this brings me to my lessons for today. Lesson number 1, you don't invest money when you're in the middle of a project, particularly a project that is cash intensive. Finish the project first. When you are done with the project, then you can start investing. That is what I learned too, painfully. Because if I was not in the middle of the project, I would not have cashed out the managed funds that is doing very well. Because I have to cash out that one and do some plumbing work in the house that I moved into. So it pains me small, sha. So first tip, please do not invest when you're in the middle of a project. Finish the project first. You will always have time to invest. The second tip that I have for you for today, what I learned is, as an untrained investor, I can never pick stocks that will outperform the market. So if you think you have one genie in the bottle, one magic something, that you just pick A, B, and C stock and somehow yourself will just turn, overnight you just blow and you become a millionaire. I don't think it is possible. Maybe it has happened for like 1 or 2 people out of 100 people. But as an untrained investor, you're not smarter than the market. You're not smarter than market forces. So instead of spending your time picking stocks, why don't you look for a good managed fund? Look at their year to date, that thing is where the arrow is going up and down. Look at their year to date and invest with a good managed fund so that at least you'll be seeing your returns on investment. You pick stock now, today it will increase, tomorrow it will tank. The third thing that I learned is that right now, I don't know about next year, I don't know about next month, but right now, the NGX, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, is outperforming the all the American stock exchange, the the Dow Jones, they call it, and NASDAQ and the rest of them. Like seriously, New York Stock Exchange, you name it. The NGX is outperforming all of them. So if you really want to make money fast in Nigeria, or at least you want to make money, shy, you don't want to be making 10% a year. You want to do 30, 40, 50% interest, 50% increase in a year. I would advise you to put your money in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, particularly put it in a well-managed index fund, an equity fund. Not money market. Money market is good though, because you'll be seeing your increment on a daily basis. But if you really want, like you really want to see increase, you want to see 30% in 2 months, put it in a well managed equity fund and you would see your equity rising just like that. The Nigerian Stock Exchange is incredible right now. Yes, it's like there's a market correction going on right now, but I will still advise you to buy into the Nigerian exchange and you'll be glad you did in the next year. And the final thing that I learned that I want to share with you today is you need a lot of self control if you're an investor. Because if you're like me and you don't have plenty self control, as soon as you see the thing just increase more, you will go and withdraw the money and you will chop it. All the money that I liquidated from my mutual funds and from this dollar investment that I did, every single thing, I've put everything inside the house. So as I'm moving into the house, I've spent everything. So now I'm going to have to start from scratch to rebuild my investments. Luckily, the mutual fund is still, like the Nigerian mutual fund is still going strong because there's only the increment that I removed. I did not touch the principal. So the principal is still there. But you need a lot of self-control so that you will not be, withdrawing. You withdraw, you put one, you withdraw two, you put one, you withdraw two. Before you know, even your principal will finish. And that is not investing. I don't know what I will call it, but that's not investing. So you need a lot of self-control. You need to be able to put the money in there and let it breathe and let it grow and let compounding interest do its work. Compounding interest. That's another thing I just learned about recently. And I'll do a video on it very shortly to show you how powerful compounding interest is and how you can make it work for you in Nigeria. So if you still want to know how far for the FGN savings bond, how the thing ended up, and how my investment journey is going, oh yeah, click on the like button now. Like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And I will see you in my next video. And for those of you who are telling me that you want to know the apps that I am using to invest, in my next video, I'm going to I'm going to show you my apps. I'm going to walk you through my process because all the money I don't chop now, I'll be reinvesting it once I collect my salary. So I'll see you in the next video. Don't go anywhere. Oh yeah, subscribe. Bye.